Well, good morning and happy Monday, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show, the day after Easter. And in fact, maybe some of the kids are home with you this morning, and that's a good thing, right? Get the family together, enjoy maybe another beautiful day. It was rocking and rolling last night. The kids might have been a little scared. The dogs may have been jumping in the closet or jumping in bed with you. We'll talk about whether we had any damage or any confirmed tornadoes that may have affected our area or just outside of our area in a segment we call What the Weather, coming up in just a bit. We've got news you can use, and we will start off with breaking news that happened early this morning about Pope Francis, who unfortunately passed away. And he had actually made an appearance yesterday during Easter as he addressed the crowd and the entire Catholic Church. So we'll talk about his death and his remembrance, and now what happens from here. If you know anybody that's in Italy, I'm sure they will be packing St. Peter's Square as they did yesterday to see his address to the country. And then, of course, we'll be, I'm sure, laying flowers and remembrances of him today. We'll talk about that and other news you can use, some sports news for you as well. And then we've got two segments for you today. We're going to be talking with a friend of ours, Dr. Shady Hawatmeh. He owns Osiris Med Spa, and we'll actually be at his med spa for a Mobile Monica coming up on May 21st. We'll go a little bit more in depth into something we're going to talk about today. I actually saw this in breaking news from the New York Times last week, and how ironic that I heard it in the local news on KMOV this morning. So it's very timely. We're going to talk about those weight loss drugs, which up to this point have all been injectable, but could that be switching to pills by next year? We're going to talk about that with Dr. Hawatmeh. And then in our second segment, and very timely after we're just coming off of He is Risen Indeed, we're going to talk about journaling and the girl of prayer. I actually met Marietta Divine at the Working Women's Show, and she just lit me up with her energy and her positivity. But it's this journaling aspect, that I'm very big on. Well, today we're going to talk about how it's guiding you to journal and to release those thoughts from your mind and your spirit and your heart. She's going to take us through that in the most beautiful journal I've ever seen, The Girl of Prayer. So all of that, we've got a jam-packed show for you. But let's kick it all off with the segment we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
All right, well, a lot of you rocking and rolling and maybe picking up some damage this morning. We'll find out just how bad it was in our area. Just back from Memphis. Good morning, Beckett.
Good morning. How was your Easter?
Oh, it was beautiful. How was yours? Did you get a lot of chocolate?
Yes, it was great.
Did you eat the Easter bunny chocolate ears or the tail first?
I would say the tail.
That's what I will ask all of you. When you get a chocolate bunny, do you chew off the ears or the tail or the foot, or where do you start with all of that? Is it solid? Is it hollow? So the kids are all in an induced coma from chocolate from yesterday. Well, it was interesting to see how the day was in the morning, a little windy, and then what happened last night. We're going to talk about some damage. So if you don't know our aspiring meteorologist, this is Beckett Moore. Introduce you to him, and be sure to follow him on X and on YouTube, where he is very active. So I'm going to start with that. Damage-wise, were there confirmed tornadoes in or around our area, Beckett?
Yeah, so I haven't heard of any reports around our area so far.
Okay, so I know they're going to be assessing, from what I heard this morning, ironically, Columbia, Illinois, and Missouri. So there will be some investigation into whether or not that did take place from a tornadic aspect in those two areas. But hopefully our area is okay. But a lot of rain again. Are we going to be talking about flooding issues?
Yeah, probably not, but we are going to have some rain chances later on this week.
All right. Well, we're trying to dry out for sure. A lot of kids, as I mentioned, might have the day off today. So let's see when we're going to get some rain chances again. Beckett's got your forecast for not only today, but he'll look at it for the rest of the week as well.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now in St. Louis, we got a temperature around 56 degrees, overcast skies, pretty breezy actually this morning with winds out of the west 15 miles per hour, and that sunset tonight at 7:43. Now the bus stop forecast, I know some people won't be going to school today, but morning right now in St. Louis, 56 degrees, overcast skies, and as we head into the afternoon, those clouds are going to start to decrease and be sunny as we head later into the afternoon with those sunny skies, 70 degrees as our high today. And finally, looking at the 7-day outlook for today, 70 degrees, mostly sunny, again, decreasing clouds throughout the day, low 51 tonight, really warming up, getting into the 80s tomorrow, very nice sunny skies both tomorrow and on Wednesday with those mostly sunny skies. Now, Thursday and Friday is when we move into those rain chances. A couple of showers are possible on Thursday with the high near 81, high near 78 on Friday. That's where we're going to have a greater chance for some pretty heavy rain. And then heading into this weekend, sunny skies on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies on Sunday with highs in the low 70s.
All right. Any big plans for the week?
No, not really, but I have today off, so I might just hang around, relax definitely.
Relax after eating too much chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, you enjoy that. I think a lot of kids do have the day off on this Easter Monday and then getting back to school on Tuesday. Beckett, have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
You too.
All right, everybody. Beckett Moore, again, our aspiring meteorologist. As I mentioned, be sure to follow him on X and on YouTube when you're looking for the most accurate meteorologist. He's been with us for a little over a year and just absolutely adore him. Well, we have some somber news. Unfortunately, start off with the news you can use. You will be hearing a lot about this nationally, locally, regionally, the impact it will have in our St. Louis area, the connection to who becomes our next pope. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, unfortunately, the entire world is mourning this morning because of this. Pope Francis has died at the age of 88. You know, he was history's first Latin American pontiff. He charmed the world. He had that very humble style and concern for the poor, but he actually alienated conservatives with critiques of capitalism and climate change. He died at the age of 88. You know, he was recently in the hospital. And yesterday, that picture that you're seeing is from yesterday, where he did address St. Peter's Square, the entire country, for Easter. He was asked by his doctors to not be out in the public for 2 months. But of course, as always, he wants to be out there with the people. Bells tolled in church towers across Rome after this announcement, which was read out by the Cardinal Farrell, the Vatican, from the chapel and where Francis lived. At 7:35 this morning, they said the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the home of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and of his church. Of course, at 7:35 local time. Francis suffered from chronic lung disease and had part of one lung actually removed as a young man. He was admitted to the hospital on Valentine's Day for a respiratory crisis that developed into double pneumonia. He had spent 38 days there, the longest hospitalization of his 12-year papacy. But he emerged on Easter Sunday in his last public appearance just a day before his death as he blessed thousands of people in St. Peter's Square, treated them to a surprise Pope-mobile romp through the piazza, drawing wild cheers and applause. Beforehand, he met briefly with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. So Vance, one of the very last people to see him alive. Francis again and Vance met briefly. They exchanged Easter greetings after they got into a long-distance tangle over the Trump administration's migrant deportation plans. And Vance said, "I know you have not been feeling great, but it's good to see you in better health. Thank you for seeing me," not knowing what would happen just hours later. So again, if you are just hearing this news, pray for the Catholic Church, because now people are saying, who will take over? Well, many of you might know that we have a St. Louis connection. Timothy Dolan, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, he will be one of many that will be deciding who will be taking over. So thoughts and prayers going out to the entire Catholic Church and to Pope Francis's family. In other news this morning, we'll be talking about Missouri and health news. Now, this first came out of a measles case in Texas, and now Texas has 50 measles cases. It's made its way into Missouri, however, confirming its first case of 2025. It was a child visitor to Taney County. 2 confirmed cases in 2024, 52 in our area since 2010. And a lot of this that we've been talking about is whether or not children or adults had been vaccinated in these cases. We'll continue to follow this and bring you the latest. Well, there are more pharmacies that are saying they're going to offer prescriptions in a speedy way to you. And we'll be talking with Dr. Shady Hawatmeh about medical news and pills that could be coming in 2026. Well, for some of you, you're trying to get your pills and other medications in a faster manner. Well, that could take place now. America's 2 largest retailers want to deliver the prescriptions to your doorstep, sometimes in a matter of hours. We're talking about Amazon and Walmart undergoing national expansions in same-day prescription deliveries, and they're joining a trend that's gained momentum since the COVID-19 pandemic, with drugstore chains and companies like Instacart and DoorDash rushing to deliver prescriptions as soon as possible. And again, Amazon and Walmart, just the latest of these two. Well, look at the screen here closely and let me know if you have these boots. North Face is recalling these. These are women's boots that are being recalled. The North Face recalling this popular brand of waterproof boots because people wearing them are at risk of falling. The recall involves the women's Shalista V Mid waterproof boots in sizes 5 to 11. They were sold at the North Face, Dick's Sporting Goods, Nordstrom, REI, and other stores nationwide, as well as online from September of last year through January of this year. The North Face says the hook of one of the boots can catch on the lace of the other, causing a person to fall. So far, the company has received 28 reports of this happening, leading to 15 different injuries. Well, how would you like to get some money? And it's not from playing the lottery. It's simply from being on social media. Meta may be paying you, and I mean big time. That's right. Meta is sending out money, payouts beginning in a $90 million Facebook lawsuit over a like button issue. The lawsuit was filed actually back in 2022, accusing the company of improperly collecting and storing personal data from Facebook users who went to third-party websites with the Facebook like button. Anyone in the United States who went to a non-Facebook website that displayed the like button between April 22nd of 2010 and September 26th of 2011 are eligible to submit a claim to receive payment. According to litigation documents, payments were issued April 10th of this year to class members who submitted a valid claim form in that case. The final amount, again, $90 million minus attorney and court administration fees and service awards to class representatives, divided by the number of those who submitted a valid claim. Payments will be delivered by PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, virtual prepaid cards, or by checks. All right, in sports news, let's start off with our St. Louis Blues. Okay, they first lost. This is in the playoffs. So now we're hoping that they'll be able to tie things up before they come back home. So they're still on the road. They're playing against the Winnipeg Jets in round one of the playoffs. Game time, 6:30 p.m. And then game three, by the way, will be the Jets coming to St. Louis. We'll be playing on Thursday. And then the Jets are in town against the Blues as well on Sunday. St. Louis Cardinals losing yesterday to the New York Mets. Final was 7-4. It's the Cards and the Braves in action. 6:15 will be the first pitch. And then we go into our National Day of. What's taking place today? Couple of things, not a ton like we give you sometimes. National Yellow Bat Day, National Rendering Day, National Chocolate Covered Cashews Day. I think after yesterday you might have your fill of chocolate. And it's National Kindergarten Day. That's what we give you as we run down the news you can use. Now we're going to take a break and I'm going to give you some Medical Monday news. You know, we do our Medical Monday and we had been every Monday for about a year and a half. Took a little bit of a break from it, but we will start bringing it back for you. And we do that today. Dr. Shady Hawatmeh with Osiris Med Spa, where we're going to be on May 21st. We're going to kind of give you just a little bit. We're going to introduce them to our audience first. And then I will talk about something that I saw in national news. And then, like I said, it was one of the stories that I heard this morning on KMOV. So it's very timely. This GLP-1 drug that could be available in a pill form, maybe as early as next year with regards to diabetes and weight loss. And then stay tuned for Marietta Divine, the girl of prayer and the most incredible journal you've ever seen. So if you are coming off Easter, maybe you went to church, someone invited you to church yesterday, your soul is on fire, well, you may need this journal to help guide you to release those thoughts and to help you get to that journey that you're looking for in life. So a lot coming up for you still in this hour of The Real Monica Adams Show. Don't go anywhere.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Well, welcome back, and thank you again for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. Remember, we're on multiple platforms, so I met a lot of people over the weekend. They said, "Oh, I'm not on Facebook," and I said, "That's it. That's why we are on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Rumble, and LinkedIn, and the platforms can continue to grow. You just let us know if there's a platform that we're not on that you would like for us to be. And also remember to follow us on our audio podcast platform, which drops every Thursday at 8 a.m. All right, we're kicking things off with Medical Monday news you can use. And let me introduce you to a new friend of ours, Dr. Shady Hawatmeh. Good morning this morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic. So Dr. Hawatmeh is with Osiris Med Spa, and we're going to be there coming up on May 21st. And we're actually going to talk a little bit more in depth about this. We will talk about weight loss drugs, and we're going to actually bust some myths that are out there. But I sent this article to Dr. Hawatmeh last week, and it was in the New York Times as some breaking news. And then today, as I mentioned, a lot of the local channels are talking about this as well. When people come into your clinic, it's from an injectable standpoint of weight loss. And I love the fact that when we sat down with you, you said, "You know what, Monica, if somebody comes in and says they want to lose 5, 10 pounds, I won't do it for them." Why is that?
Because that's not what these medications are made for. Like, this is supposed to help people who have suffered their life with morbid obesity and have other comorbidities. And that's why I say no to that. And I would direct them somewhere else, because that's, as a physician, we have what I say is HIPAA. Is first is do no harm, and these medications will do harm to people who don't really need them. So that's why I don't give them or get these people on my weight loss program at our medical spa, specifically when they say, "Oh, I need 5 pounds to get into a dress," or "I can't get rid of this last bit on my belly."
And from a harm standpoint, what are the side effects of these injectables?
You get nausea, vomiting. Those are the main two. Constipation, all because it does slow down your intestinal tract, and it can cause gastroparesis is a major one. Also, we've found that people who aren't following them closely, aren't monitoring, are getting physical exams, can develop thyroid nodules, and it can affect the thyroid. So, again, do no harm first and foremost, right? So, like I said, it's only given to people after they get a sick consult with me or my wife, Nicole, and then we make a decision together as a team whether or not that this patient's going to be fit for our weight loss program.
And that's it. You know, there's so many things that when we sat down and talked that I just love the ethical side of Dr. Hawatmeh. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on, I really just want to introduce Dr. Hawatmeh to you, because we're going to sit down and go very in depth and talk about some of the myths that are out there, people that are trying to buy it online, injecting themselves, but now it might be from a pill standpoint. So this is from Eli Lilly, and they're looking at bringing this into play next year. What are your thoughts on the pill?
Well, it's kind of funny that I just love how news and media and everything says, "Oh, it's a new oral medication." Yeah, as physicians know, there has been one out since 2018. It's called Rybelsus. Rybelsus is an oral semaglutide. So instead of saying it's a new one, it's actually new in the fact that they're trying to go away from using a peptide to a non-peptide.
Okay.
For better absorption and better efficacy, is to make it feel like it's an injectable. But Rybelsus has been around as just as long as Ozempic. These medications were out way before anybody even knew that people would lose weight. It was a diabetic medication. So the only drawback to orals is that it can cause hypoglycemia, which injectables usually don't unless they're in conjunction with insulin. So that's something that we probably, is just a little bit more weary to give it to people who are trying to lose weight and aren't really diabetic. So it's interesting that the company, they're both competing companies, right? We got Rybelsus, Ozempic, Wegovy, and now we have this new medication pairing up with its teammates Zepbound and Mounjaro. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to launch it, what they're going to do with it, and what the actual efficacy is.
See, and again, if you're just tuning in, Dr. Shady Hawatmeh with Osiris Med Spa in the Creve Coeur area. Yes, to the general public and to the media, it is, oh, this is new. Obviously, as Dr. Hawatmeh just said, well, no, it's really just more of a competition aspect of one company against another, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
interesting.
that's what it is, and that's what Zepbound and Mounjaro did. It's they came and developed later after Ozempic has been out for almost 6 years now. So,
and at your clinic, you administer which one of those?
So I do semaglutide compound that I get from a compounding pharmacy down in Miami that's approved to compound. Now tirzepatide, you can't get it because of the law that it's off the shortage list. So I do not have the tirzepatide, which is similar to Mounjaro and Zepbound. But usually with my clients, believe it or not, when they come and talk to me, I tell them you should contact your primary and see if your insurance company can pay for it. And if not, here's a coupon if you can pay for it through that to get the actual medications from the actual company. And then if all of those fail, then I can help them, provide them with the compound. But again, I try to guide them into a way that I'm not, I want them to get to the results and get the medication without breaking the bank. So
again, another ethical way, because there's a lot of people out there like, oh yeah, come on in, we'll take your money. Or, hey, go to the website. And which blows my mind that people would be injecting themselves. It's just, there's so many dangerous aspects of that. And whenever you are looking at the weight loss side, from obesity, morbidly obese, from a diabetic standpoint, you should be going through a medical doctor, because again, there are situations that you could encounter that you don't know what to do to take care of yourself. And it was, I don't know if it is anymore, Dr. Hawatmeh, but it was to a point where people who had diabetes weren't even able to get the drug that is supposed to be meant for them. I think, has that gotten a little bit better?
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit better after the factories are actually up and running better. The problem is that these companies made it easy for you to inject at home. So that was the reason there was a shortage. It wasn't so much that the medication was a shortage, it was the delivery system that was the shortage, because it's very unique on how to do it. So there's a click and you push a button and it administers the exact dose. That was the limiting agent for the shortage, believe it or not. It wasn't so much the actual medication.
Okay, and this, as I said, Eli Lilly saying that clinical results of its GLP-1 in pill form show safety and efficacy data similar to blockbuster injectable drugs. Still a lot more that will be coming out about this, but as Dr. Hawatmeh said, this isn't something new. And I remember having Dr. Richard Lehman on over a year ago, and he was like, Monica, honestly, every time we turn around, there's going to be another company that's going to want to come out with another one, just to, again, put it up against another company just from a competition standpoint. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out this year. I heard on the news on CBS this morning that they've already have stockpiled 1 billion pills because they don't want there to be an issue where it's going to run out. But again, this is not going to come into play until probably the beginning of the year is what they're saying. Dr. Hawatmeh, when we sit down with you coming up on May 21st, can you just tease us with a couple of myths that are out there that we're going to talk about?
Myths are not everything's made the same. I'll just say it that way. Not everything you see on your socials, not everything you see at the spas, they're not all created equally or made the same. So be careful where you go. Be careful who you trust to take care of you. I mean, this is your body, your face, your everything. So you should really take time to decide who's going to be the one to guide you on your journey to make you feel better.
Absolutely. And that was the thing. So when Dr. Hawatmeh and I sat down, he was telling about all the different services that they offer there, but it is his background from the physician aspect of, look, I'm going to go that extra step. I'm also going to say, go somewhere else. If you're just looking to drop some weight as you get ready to go from spring to summer and fit into your bikini or walk on a beach, he's like, that's not for me. But there are other ones that will say, yeah, come on over here. There's also a lot of people that just offer this service and that service and have almost no background in it, which again is a very scary thing when you're talking, as he just said, of putting things into your body or into your face. You opened Osiris Med Spa not even a year ago. Just was that August of last year?
Actually, July.
July?
Yeah.
And
So
again, located in the Creve Coeur area, we're putting up on the screen right now. We're going to talk all about it. And a lot of you, this video that I put out went crazy when I went to Osiris Med Spa and So Natural. They are in partnership together. And I had something done that I had never heard of before. It was this Aveda head spa, and that has gone viral. But and he immediately asked me, so seriously, Monica, tell me the truth. And I said, I'm always going to, because I'm very real, just as real as he is. It was amazing. So for those of you that didn't see it, you got to watch that reel. I was in such a relaxed state, but my assistant said, no, you weren't. You were filming, Monica. You got to go back now and actually relax.
yeah, you really got to take the time and just chill and relax.
I know. Well, I'm looking forward to sitting down with you again. We're going to be talking about weight loss, and we'll go a little bit more in depth into this, but also busting some myths out there. And really, the main thing is that he wants to make sure that you are taken care of. Right now, since you are coming up on almost a year as we get into the summer, what is the biggest thing that people have been coming to you for so far?
Would be my laser, honestly, and the weight loss program. My Cool Peel laser machine for skin resurfacing, and my weight loss program. Those are two of the main. And then all my, clients that I've been injecting for many years obviously have stuck with me and, showed their support, and they've continued with us and continue to help us grow, which is awesome.
And yeah, so where were you before you opened Osiris?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Literally, I would go to their house. They'd come to
Oh.
mine. It was just a mobile thing. And I would inject in a clinic chair and stuff like that. But I decided to open the space with my wife and I to make it a dream to come true, to open a big space to really help and treat everybody.
Beautiful wife and a beautiful place, by the way. I can't wait for you all to see Osiris Med Spa. If you have not been in yet, it is absolutely stunning. And we're excited to sit down coming up. It'll be a morning show, but it'll be 8 a.m. start. We won't be starting that morning at 7 a.m. So mark it on your calendars, 8 a.m. on May 21st. Well, Dr. Hawatmeh, I appreciate it. And by the way, you also do, what hospital are you affiliated where you do your rounds?
Mercy St. Louis. Mm-hmm.
So you might know Dr. Hawatmeh from many areas. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time this morning. And again, we're just kind of touching on this a little bit, but I love the fact that, as he said, this isn't new. It's just the media says things and people have never heard of it. And it really is what's coming up next, just from a competition against yet another one of either pills or injectables. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in person on May 21st.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
You bet. Again, Dr. Shady Hawatmeh, Osiris Med Spa. Check them out. Maybe you want to have that head spa that I had done, the Aveda head spa, or the Cool Peel. That is something I'm going to be experiencing. I've been putting it on hold, and I'm glad that I waited until Dr. Hawatmeh was able to do it. We are going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about journaling. You know, I'm a huge fan of it. I have our own journals that say, know your value, my greatest mantra. But what about putting prayer into it? We're just coming off of Easter. He is risen indeed. We're going to talk about Girl of Prayer. I met her at the Working Women's Show, and I just told her, I love what you're doing, and I want to give it an even bigger platform. Marietta Divine and the Girl of Prayer will join us next.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you, being on the Monica Adams show has just been a delight. It's been a joy. What she's doing for the community is amazing. I'm so proud to be sitting in this blue chair, being honored and honoring the people for the showcase that I'm doing for the Neiman Marcus Black Creatives in the Lou Black History Month Showcase. I want to end this segment with a poem that I wrote. I grew up on the north side. That's where it all started. Dreams, goals, and aspirations grew within me, and they never departed. You see, my environment was jaded, but that never fazed me, because what my parents instilled in me made my dreams go crazy. Mama was my cheerleader, and Papa gave me the tools. Everything could be yours, they would say. Just make sure you follow these rules. Work hard, Don't look back and keep your mind set on stable. And if you can't find yourself somewhere to sit, create your own table. Thank you, Monica, for creating this table. Take care. Be blessed.
The Girl of Prayer Journal is a wonderful journal. It helps you get in touch with your inner self. One part that stood out to me was to fight and pray. In this walk of life, we have to fight as well as pray. And I command and commend all of you to reach out and get this journal. It will help you get through life tragedies, cope with the lives of ups and downs. I really learned a lot about this. I journal, and also I go back and reference what I journal, what was successful and what was not. But I guarantee you will be enthused when you get this journal.
Sometimes we forget how to pray. That's what I love about the Girl of Prayer book. It's given me the opportunity to really evaluate how I talk to God and remember to keep Him. This is a focus in my life, but it also even has a chapter that talks about how to talk to God. And sometimes we just need to be reminded of that.
I think the Girl of Prayer book is such a great opportunity to get closer to God. Sometimes it's hard to think out loud or pray out loud. So this is a perfect opportunity to just write things down and write your vision and make it plain. And my favorite part about this journal is the think space, because I can just write about things that I want to do in the future and how I'm going to get there.
And welcome back. She lit me up when I saw her at the Working Women show. And I have to thank my sister-in-law, Tina, actually. She's like, Monica, you got to come over here. You're going to love this woman. And I do. Marietta Divine, Marie. What do I call you? Marietta or Marie, or both? Or beautiful soul?
You can call me both.
I can call you both.
My friends call me Marie.
Marie. Oh, well, then I'm calling you Marie. So we met at the Working Women show, and I sat down and saw this, The Girl of Prayer. And I thought, well, first of all, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And I just dropped one of the things. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
I dropped the pen. There's a pen that she puts in that's a bling bling, beautiful gold pen that you're going to get inside of this. It's packaged beautifully, and more so, it's what is going to guide you inside. So we'll talk about all of this. We'll showcase it for you. But before we get into all of that, how did this even come about for you? What is your background and your own soul searching of what brought you to this?
Well, I grew up in the church, but I relied on my mother and my grandmother to have a connection with God, because I'm like, they're spiritually inclined and God doesn't listen to me, or He doesn't love me like He loves them. And so I will always go to my mom and my grandmother for my spiritual guidance. So long story short, my mom passed, my brother passed, I only had one sibling, and then my grandmother passed. And I had to start going to God for myself. So I created a prayer room in my basement, and I just fell on my face because I was so overcome and stricken by grief.
Sure.
And I heard God say, the Girl of Prayer. And I'm like, that's absolutely it. That's what I want to do. And so at the time I was journaling, because I was just journaling the grief process. And so I said, I can marry the two, turn the Girl of Prayer into a journal.
Oh my gosh. And I love the fact I was reading so much about you, and you just said one of the things that I love, that she has a prayer room. How many of you thought, I need something like that? And something that's changed in me over the last 4 months is what I do to pray. And again, you've got to find what works for you.
Right.
But I have started to hit my knees, where I used to just open my eyes and I would pray in bed, close my eyes. And you always say the same thing you said, the way you start your prayers. Mine is always, thank you for the breath in my lungs and another day I'm blessed. That's how I start my prayers. You say?
Dear God.
Yeah, you got to start with that. Or I say Father. One of my two fathers in heaven. I lost my dad when I was 24. But I say I've got two incredible fathers that are guiding me. So yes, it's the addressing of it. And we're coming off of a very powerful day. And some of your kids are home today on this Easter Monday. And, understand where the blessings come from. They're right there in front of you a lot of times. Sometimes it's the whispers. They talked about that in service yesterday. Whispers before it's the loud shout. And then they also were talking about, like, sometimes do we have an audible where how many people actually hear God's voice? Some people were raising their hands saying, yes, I have, which is just amazing. The chills I got from thinking about that. But it's finding the way to prayer. And one of the things about this, the girl of prayer, and we're going to find out what led you to this, is how to pray. And you
Right.
go through this, but a lot of people don't even know how to start.
Most definitely. It's just always my love letter to God because he loved me more than my parents did, and he put that love in them for me.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
of course, that's who I go to now.
Yeah. And so do you have a lot of people when you go and speak from all ages, young girls, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, et cetera, together that say you have really brought us together in a whole nother aspect of soul searching?
People always tell me that they felt like they couldn't go to God with their problems. And I'm like, you can always give it to him. He's the source to fix your problem.
Yes. But a lot of times, things happen in our lives. We're on this roller coaster of life. And when death, destruction, really horrible, horrific things happen in the world, it's interesting how many people say that they turn away.
Right.
When for me, I lean in more. And I'm sure you're the same way.
I'm most definitely the same way.
Otherwise, you feel lost.
Mm-hmm.
The guiding source instead of the enemy or Satan or however you look at it. So you are there, face down. You hear prayer, girl of prayer.
The girl of prayer.
And that's how long ago?
That was about a year ago.
Okay.
When I started the prayer journal. And so after that, I just started piecing together what I would want in a prayer journal because my thoughts are, I would say, all over the place. It's just not one particular thing. So I wanted to see a massive amount of things in a journal. I'll use maybe 3 or 4 journals for the different guidance, but I wanted to put all of that in one.
And you have, and I'm telling you, like, look, I'm big in journaling. I go and do workshops. You do as well. The journal that I have here that we go through with my life coaching, people always go, I don't even understand how to even start journaling. I'm sure you hear that. Besides, I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to journal. I hear this a lot, Marie, and I want to know if you do as well, where people say, I can't journal because I'm afraid someone's going to read what I'm writing and I'm going to be judged. If something, God forbid, would happen to me and someone found my journal, what do you say to that comment?
That's okay.
Yes, that's what I say.
You can be completely transparent. Those are your thoughts. Those are your feelings. And something is ignited in you when you write it down. It's power in the pen.
Yes. And then I also have told them it's okay because if you continue to flip the pages, you'll see whatever you were in at that moment. It's just like any great book. How did they come out of it?
Right.
And you see the shifts and the patterns that have shifted in their lives. And, oh, yeah, this was devastating for them, or they were so angry at this person. But that's what we have to go through. It's not all puppies and rainbows, I always say.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I can go back and say, oh my God, I made it through that.
Right. And the resilience, and that's what we're looking for. You also have a big part. You're a big advocate of helping women and abused women at that. Why is that?
I was abused starting at the age of 4.
I'm sorry.
And going through life, through that abuse, I asked God, why did this happen to me? And he said, so that I can help other hurting and abused women.
Wow. Through your experience to help others heal.
Yes. I asked him at the age of 18, how can I help other women?
So take me through the 4 through 18 years, though.
Ooh. Very tumultuous and very tragic.
Did you have a relationship with God during that time?
I had a relationship with God. I knew how to pray, but I relied more so on my imagination to help me through those times.
That's a powerful comment. For any of you that have been there, and I hope that hasn't been your journey, but we know unfortunately it has been for children and for women and for men alike, any type of abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, verbal abuse, domestic violence, things that happen like that, the enemy, right, that unfortunately took over the abuser, the victim so often feels that they did something wrong. Did you go through that?
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, you did.
And I remember crying at the age of 9, wondering if I was pregnant or not at the age of 9.
Oh, Marie. Wow.
Couldn't wait till my 10th birthday because I hated 9 so much.
And again, so listen to this because you can hear yourself in this story possibly, or you know someone that you feel that you need to help with this. I mean, this is what they would be brought to. So for from 18 on, you have this journey that shifts. What does that look like?
So then I began writing. I had wrote a book. It's called The Weight We Carry from Renting Men. Because I had found myself taking care of men instead of us being, equal partners. So I would allow him to drive my car, pay all the bills. And my friend said, that's renting a man.
Renting a man. I've never heard that. That's interesting.
So that was my first awakening that what I was doing was out of order and it was out of alignment to what God wanted me to do.
So then 18, and you start to journal at that point and write things down at that point?
I was more so writing plays. And writing books, but not so journaling.
Okay.
My mother would always tell me to write everything down and to begin journaling. I didn't start journaling until maybe 3 years ago.
Well, and for many, they would say, people call it journaling. Isn't that like a diary? It's whatever you want to call it. It's taking it from here and writing it down. And I'm sure you've dug deep into this as well. There is a true science from taking it out of here, all of the noise and the chaos that happens between these two ears, to put it down and then maybe to step away from it, just like we're told to step away from a text or an email of what was that, and then come back to it, and the soul searching, the connection from the brain to the soul that happens, and the spirit of what those words are. And again, whether you ever read them to anybody, doesn't matter. That this is a private conversation with you and God, right?
Yes, most definitely.
And she guides you through this, by the way. We're going to take a quick break. If you have any questions, by the way, or comments or aha moments, or thank her for being so raw and authentic, drop them in. We've got all of you on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Rumble, LinkedIn, all the platforms, either right now while you're live, and hopefully more of you are home today because your kids have maybe the day off and maybe they have something that they want to say to you. It's this breakthrough that happens when you release the pain from the past. And I do a lot of life coaching, and I talk about timeline therapy and how truly many are stuck exactly where the abuse happened until they start to release it. And that's the age they've been their entire lives.
Wow.
4, even though you might be 40, 18, even though you might be 25, that you're stuck in whatever that year is until you start to heal. I just got chill.
Wow.
But it's very, very true that there's this blockage of belief that they deserved it, that they were the victim because, fill in the blank, or whatever that may be, until they realize, no, it was that person's damage, that abuser, the enemy giving power and them taking the power. And unfortunately, you were the victim of this. And I hope we can release you of that this morning. If that is you, we're going to walk you through this. We're going to talk about this, how this all came about. And it's just absolutely beautiful. I cannot applaud you enough. I mean, truly, my sister-in-law was just lit up. She's like, you got to see this. You got to see this. And I said, yeah. And then we talked to her right away and said, you're really bringing young girls and moms, and like I said, aunts and grandparents, role models, women, strong, powerful role model women together and healing. And that's what we're doing today. Let's heal together. More with Marietta Divine, the girl of prayer, when we return.
Monica's show brings positiveness to the world. She brings positive vibes to the community, and she's in there to help everyone. I really feel this was a calling for me to come to this show and to work with Monica. I've been following her for a long time. She always has a bright outlook on everything. And the people that she brings together, that's what this is all about, is bringing people together. And this is the best platform that I could even think about using to do so.
And welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. Looks like we have about 60 of you on right now. So again, if you have friends that are not on Facebook, have them maybe go to YouTube. They can watch live, or the beauty of streaming is you can watch at any point. Again, X, we are also on Rumble. We're on LinkedIn. You can choose any of those platforms. And then if you can't catch it live, or if you only catch a little bit of it, you can always come back and watch more. Let's look at some of the comments here. Jenny said, talk to God like he's your best friend, because he should be.
Yes.
Right? He's always there for us. And I love the fact that yesterday in church they said that, he called by name. And every day that's what he's doing. He's calling you by name and talking with you. Julie said, I have decided to read the Bible in a year. I just got my Bible and workbook this morning. I have been so burdened with a lot of my friends having reached out for a shoulder. People are hurting, and they are my friends. I also have a hard time journaling, mainly finding the time. Jenny says it's so cool to look back on your journal to see how God works through your life. Sometimes life gets so noisy we don't stop to realize how he's working for us. And then Jenny said, oh my goodness, thank you for being so real. We need more people like that. Big hugs to you. Marie Rose says, you're such an inspiration. Someone just told me at church an experience like yours. We prayed together and we both said it's where we are, not where we've been, but the journey helps us help others. Thank you, Marie. Bless you again for being so absolutely raw. Right. So drop any comments that you want in for you. And if you just tuned in and you missed, I can't thank you enough, because it's hard sometimes. People, and that's the other thing is, if you're not ready to tell someone, it's okay also. You'll find your way, but I hope you don't stay in the pain for the rest of your life. That's what I was mentioning earlier. So you go through all of that. And it's not to say that you don't sometimes dip back in the past and know what happened, but how did you move forward from the pain?
Well, I have always learned that there's purpose in your pain.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to grow from it. You can't sit in it. You have to learn from it and allow it to cause you to elevate.
What did you learn from it?
I learned that most definitely God is real. I learned that he loves me without a shadow of a doubt, more than anything. I've learned that it's okay. It's okay, especially to say no.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's something that I severely struggle with because I have felt like my power was taken away and I had to do what others said because I had experienced that at a young age. But now I know it's okay to say no.
Yes, no is a very powerful word, and one that many people have a hard time ever speaking until suddenly they do. And it's like they become empowered by that one word, those two letters.
Yes.
So this girl of prayer, and we sat down and talked to you at the Working Women Show, and I said, oh, what else do you have? There's merchandise. There's all these different things that you can find on her website, by the way. And Zach continues to drop in for you where you can go to follow her on her website and then also on social platforms. There you go. At Marietta Divine, MariettaDivine.com, thegirlofprayer.com. Where are you most active on the social channels?
Facebook.
And then you're also on TikTok.
Yes.
And
most
Instagram?
definitely. Yes.
Right. She transformed. I love this one. She transformed, and you can too. Absolutely. Because there's probably a time in your life where you didn't think that transformation could happen.
Wasn't interested in transforming.
And why?
I felt like I was just stuck where I was, and that was my life.
Wow. And that you can apply whatever in your story you want to at that very given moment of what she just said. I don't think I deserve to transform, or I'm not going to. I'm going to stay right here. I'm stuck. Whatever it may be, right? It could be addictions. It could be abuse. Whatever the aspect is that's not taking you on the journey where you do, by the way, belong and where God wants you to go, there's going to be a point where you're just going to get that aha. And that day is such a beautiful day for you.
Most definitely.
Can you vividly remember your aha day?
Oh, I've had so many.
And that's great too.
Well, after my family transition, my best friend passed, and then I had another best friend pass while we was at the working.
Oh no!
Yeah, at the survival show, at the Working Women show, and to sit here and say, "Oh my gosh, I made it." I didn't have a nervous breakdown, but I did gain 70 pounds, and I'm in the process of working on that because I began to eat from my grief. I used to run marathons and stayed extremely fit, but then after I felt like I had lost everything and everybody,
You didn't know what to turn to.
Yeah.
You turned to food for comfort,
Right.
as so many do. And again, it's okay as long as you don't stay there. Here Maria is saying, all right, I did it. I own it. I'm coming out of it.
Most definitely.
So you're working through eating healthier, knowing that you deserve that you're valued, that he wants you to be healthier.
Yes.
Right? But that's also probably all been a release of what you wrote in this. Okay, so what brings there goes my pen again. I got to show you all the pen because I'm so. How many people are? I've seen so many people review this for you, and they're like, "And the pen." I mean, can you see that it glitters? The pen. When did you know you were going to put this beautiful pen inside of there? Was that an immediate?
Immediate.
Yes.
I know that women love a good pen.
We do, right? Well, because it's the thing that's helping you write your story, and you just get to see there and look at this. Who did you team up with for this? By the way, this is just beautiful.
So I have a creative director, and he did all the graphics for me.
Okay.
But other than that, it was just my thoughts, and we just transformed my thoughts.
And it's so well done because there's journals out there. But I mean, this is in this gorgeous box that's in front of us. It's all wrapped up. So it's presentation. So you elevated it to the nth degree. You have been told that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm serious. And I told her I want to do this review for her socially on Facebook or wherever you want it to be. But it is the fact that I've seen some journals that people just kind of put together. But you literally, I mean, when you were putting this together, what was in your mind from the get-go of this has to be in there and there's no way around it. This has to be in there.
I wanted people to be able to search their soul and most definitely connect with God. And I wanted to add those elements through color, through the thoughts, through the pictures, everything.
And again, you're looking at some of it here online. I'm going to walk you through. So when you open the book right away, it says, one day Jesus was praying in a certain place. When he finished, one of his disciples said to him, Lord, teach us to pray just as John taught his disciples. That's Luke 11, verse 1. And it is teach us. And then you start to look.
Oh, yes. That's my favorite part.
Letter to your future self is where it all begins. And then she's got the rundown again, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, repeating January all the way through December. When did you start to decide to write the letter to your future self? And then you go through. So the index, so it's a prayer board. So we talk a lot about vision boards. Would that be the same? Or what is a prayer board?
No, a prayer boards or your personal request to God.
Personal request to God. Okay. And then you go through his word. We've mentioned how to pray because many people say, I don't even know how to even begin. Girl of prayer, silent prayers, the dream board. That's more the visualization aspect, right?
Yes.
Okay. Creative space, pray in color. This is where we actually get to be like little kids in color again. Right?
Most definitely.
And then think space and gratitude. What has been the most powerful in all those that I just went through that people have said just really connect to them? Or is it just kind of all over the place?
All over the place.
Is it? Yeah. Because you don't know when you're coming to it, the journey. For you, what's the most powerful at this moment? Because I know every day changes.
Prayer board.
Prayer board. And why is that?
That's my go-to. Because I need to get my thoughts out and give them to God. And I physically feel like that's exactly what I'm doing when I write them down.
Tell them what the prayer board is.
The prayer board is just whatever your prayers are to God. You just write them down.
And we're lifting those up?
Yes.
Gotcha. Prayers from the heart. Fill your hearts with prayer. So there's actually little cutout hearts here that you can fill in and put your prayers on. So I decided to not begin this until I sat down with you. So my note to my future self came from Easter. What a great day to start.
Wow.
Right? So my letter to my future self was from yesterday. And what a beautifully blessed day it was. A lot of people that watch this show and know me, they all say, Monica, you need to slow down. And it's funny because I literally am always preaching about the importance of journaling and praying, but then all of a sudden it's like, as soon as my feet hit the floor, there's no stopping from 4:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night. But yesterday I did exactly what I preach, which was spend time with your husband, Monica. You need that alone time together. Go to church together, feel connected, hear the service, hear the word. What a beautifully day to do so. And then go to brunch together, just spend time together. And it was this release of it's okay to not go, go, go.
Right.
And that's hard for those of us that do go, go, go to slow it down a notch.
I have the same problem.
How many women say the same thing, right? So we go through this checklist in our head and we kind of have to. So a checklist from here, a checklist from here. How often do you do that?
All the time.
Yep.
All the time. Most definitely. I'm always checking my heart. I'm always apologizing. I was dyeing Easter eggs with my grandkids last night. And my grandson spilled dye all on the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I kind of, got a little upset about it. Then I apologized because I'm like, it could be wiped up. The floor is not stained. It's okay.
Yes. But it's when it like, look, I brought these beautiful flowers to sit next to Marie because I just thought this beautiful flower herself needs some flowers next to her. Anybody that knows lilies, and you know that lilies are my favorite, it's what's inside that you can see as soon as all that orange turns to yellow. Well, guess what? It was all over my jacket. It is.
Wow.
I put a towel down on my white interior of my car, but it still got on it a little bit, which of course my husband's probably like, oh, great, Monica. It'll come off.
Yes.
It got a little bit on my pants. See?
Oh, wow.
It'll come off though. So we have to go, okay, I did everything I could, but I wanted to have these flowers on set for her. I just wish, can somebody tell me, is there anything that you can do where that won't fall off on everything? But yes, it's those moments of you can become enraged and get so mad, or you can go, this too shall pass.
Oh, well.
Yep. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Yep. This will pass. All right. If you're just tuning in, again, the Girl of Prayer. And I want to know from the merchandise standpoint, where you are, what else you have coming, what people have said they would love to see more of, what's next on your journey, right? If people want to maybe come and hear you speak, because I saw her at the Working Women's Show, but I was saying, okay, well, where can people find you? What's next for you? We're going to find out about all of that. 70 of you on right now. Let's start texting people. Tell everyone that we're on and to find the platform that works for them. I'm going to hop over to Instagram and make sure that nobody's asking questions there. But if there's anything that Maria said that has just been an aha for you today, maybe this is your day where you will start taking pen to paper and releasing yourself from the pain that you were in or wherever you were stuck, or you're looking for an aha moment. Maybe today's the day and you want this. So again, we'll find out where you can get the Girl of Prayer when we return. This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her. Welcome back again. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. It's been a jam-packed hour. We started off with news you can use. And if you have not heard, once again, the thoughts and prayers going out to all who are mourning the loss of Pope Francis, dying at the age of 88 early this morning. And so there are people all throughout the world that will be thinking about what he did and what's going to take place next. So ironic that this wasn't even planned this way, by the way, that I was going to bring Marie in on the day after Easter. We actually were going to bring you in before.
Right.
And then she's like, well, Monica, she's like, I want to do a few different things and then let's come on. And so once I was talking to my sister-in-law last night and she's like, well, did you plan it like that? I said, we didn't actually. God did.
Yes, most definitely.
God did. So the girl of prayer, and again, I don't want to give too much away because I want you to get it for yourselves. Do you have moms and daughters doing this together? Do you have something separate for young girls?
Well, we're working on a separate journal now. You gave me that idea, which was very great for the girls is to do it with their moms as well.
Yes.
So
I just think
they'll
it's-
have a separate one.
Because I sit there and I look when I'm in church and I just look at what age young girls, young boys just really start paying attention and really start receiving instead of just goofing around and playing and being loud in church. It's when all of a sudden the silence happens and they're drawn in. And it always depends on who is delivering the message, whether they are connecting or not. And when that happens, I just get chills nonstop. So yes, when I met Marie, it was the little girls, I bet you they're going to want something. While mom's over here working on herself, she's over here working on herself.
Yes.
And maybe even healing at a much younger age than they would have because of what they're doing. You also have t-shirts. What else do you have in your merchandise?
We have, this is what I use every morning. It's
I love these.
shower affirmations. So this is when I pray and talk to God before, after I come out of my prayer room. So I still do that as well. So you could just wet them and stick them to the wall. And so this one particularly says, today I step confidently into my calling. I embrace each moment as an opportunity to grow, to live in alignment with God's unique plan for me.
So this is what she showed us, folks, by the way. And I was like, wait, let me see those again. So you take this and you put it in the shower. And then I was like, oh, okay, does it get ruined? She's like, no.
Yeah.
So what is this made of?
And it's made of stone paper. And
How cool
I've
is
had
this?
those for over a year and they're still intact.
I love this. And so there it is. When we talk about people healing and getting on their journey, I was very big. And so I needed something like this. This was my thought a long time ago, but it was never in the shower. It was take pieces of paper that will put in your mind and in your heart that you are valued, that you are beautiful, that you are worthy. Write them everywhere, whether it's on your refrigerator or it's on your closet. It's wherever you're going every single day so that you see those words of conviction and affirmation. And many times we have to hear it at least 10 times. I ask people to look in the mirror and say whatever it is that you don't believe and then start believing it. But this, I mean, you're doing that. So we were kindred spirits. I just didn't have the stone paper. Okay, so you've got those and then you have a candle.
Yes, that I brought you.
Let's look at
But it's a prayer candle. It's not a Bath and Body Works candle. It's a prayer candle.
So what's the difference in a prayer candle?
You just light it and I kind of light it and release and allow my prayers to go up to God.
Mm-hmm. She knows I love my candles. I will have candles and flowers for the rest of my life. People know I love my candles. So light the candle and pray, just like when you go to church and you're lighting a candle for yourself or for someone else. And then you have t-shirts.
I most definitely do.
You have a blingy t-shirt?
Yes, I
Right
actually
there?
have it on today.
Yeah. And then you have a pink one also, right?
Yes.
And what else?
And the other colors that you recommended, the white.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Are they on your website already?
No, they're not on the website.
Okay, so if somebody wants those, how do they get those?
I guess I can just DM me.
Okay.
And
So
then I can send it.
again, here's where you can find her again. She's most active on Facebook, but also TikTok and on Instagram. You can go to MariettaDivine.com, thegirlofprayer.com, and find out what she's doing now. But what's to come? What's on the horizon for you?
Everything. I'm actually working on a grief journal right now. And I'm doing the little girls journal that we spoke about, one for married couples and one for mothers to cover their children in prayer.
Oh, wow. Do you stop? I mean, how are you coming out with all of this? It's like left.
We're working on all of it right now.
So you're inspiring me without you knowing, because I have been asked to release a book for so many years in my life. And I am collaborating with a friend of mine on something that's coming out later this fall. But I finally released that part of it to her, which is a tease of what's to come for me. And Finally, folks, I've been asked when I was actually speaking at the Working Women Show a couple years ago, we had these journals and people were picking it up like, oh, is this her book? And then I saw, I mean, it was a message from God by all means, as I would watch them go, oh, it's a journal. I was like, oh, they want the book. I know. Get the book. I literally have in my folder, Marie, that says, write the book. And then it was, finish the book, Monica, finish the book.
You can finish it today.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't take that long.
No, actually, when it's there, you just start to release. My husband even said, he goes, boy, your fingers are going fast over there. I said, he's speaking through me.
Most definitely, as talented as you are.
Oh, thank you. No, you
can get
are.
it done.
This is amazing. Okay, so website is where we go to buy these, right?
Yes.
And then where else could someone get this?
They're just on the website right
all right.
now.
Are there any events coming up that you're speaking at? Or affiliated with? Like, again, she was at the Working Women Show, so I'm hoping a lot of you had a chance to get this. But if not, are you looking for people to book you or vendor fairs?
Definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
You should go out to like some, Lake St. Louis has one, O'Fallon has one. They have those farmers markets.
Okay.
But they have a lot of vendors, like vendor fairs. You would do really, really good. And my friend Jenny, who I think you said friend requested you yesterday,
Yes.
she wants you to get involved with prayer groups and churches. And I just think you would be very successful there. I just don't think the world knew about this until today. And then what I want you to do, everybody, there's a ton of you on X right now. X is an interesting platform. They watch, they don't talk, release and speak.
I've never heard of it.
X Twitter.
Oh, okay.
But it's called X now.
All right.
It's switched. So X, yes. I mean, I was looking, there's 57 people on X right now. That's the biggest platform where people are watching this morning. And then we've got some on Facebook and on YouTube and on Rumble. So for all of you that are watching, I would like for each and every one of you to share this show, whatever part. You can talk about how Monica does the news you can use, and then Dr. Hawatmeh came on for the medical side. If you want them to watch this part, just say at 7:30 or at 30 minutes into the show, that's when she has this wonderful woman on that's going to light you up. And she talked about a lot in this last half hour of her own healing, how she wants to help young girls and help women. Are there any? That's the other thing, is there's probably a lot of groups of hurt and abused women and children that have been abused that would probably love for you to come and speak so that they can see their future self.
Yes.
Because right now they're in the pain, but if they can see you illuminated and glowing and light, you give them hope. I want to get you involved with everybody. I just want this to go.
Please do.
Just
I
like,
did
please
want
do.
to take the time to speak to the Monica Maniacs. Great morning, everyone. We're so glad that you could join.
They do. They are self-proclaimed and they come to all these different events. So if she's going to be an event and we know about it, we're going to tell you to go there. And I know the Maniacs will go nuts. Yes, that's what they call them. She's like, what are they called? Maniacs? I said, Monica's Maniacs. I didn't give them that name. They give them themselves that name. Okay, let's see. Jenny said, I set my alarm 20 minutes earlier, so I have that time. It doesn't have to be perfect. He just wants your connection.
I agree.
Yep. And so a lot of people will say that they're on a journey of losing weight or wanting to manifest this aspect or that aspect of their lives. They want a different job. They want a different relationship. And then I say, but what are you doing for it? So, well, I don't have time. Yes, you do. Just set the alarm earlier. Whatever you want in life, you will go after it if you want it enough, right?
Yes, I ran this morning.
Oh, you
Before
did?
I came, I most definitely did.
Like outside or inside?
On my treadmill.
On your treadmill. I was going to say, please tell me you have a light on. I'm very big in safety. How far did you run?
I just ran for 30 minutes.
Not just. I eliminate that word just. You ran for 30 minutes.
I ran for 30 minutes.
So you are back on your journey. Oh, she said, I'm back.
I'm back.
And just this light for the world. I'm so thrilled that we met. And I cannot wait to go through this now because I wanted to wait till you were in front of me to begin my own journey of my girl of prayer, empowering women through prayer, a guided journal for women's spiritual transformation. If you don't have yours, I want you to go to her website and get your own and start going through and walking through what you all get. And this is what you're seeing on the screen right now. So you will get this book, you'll open it up, and there's so many levels of what you have inside of here. And what is the price on it, the retail on this?
$30.
$30
with shipping.
And again, look at all of that you get there to just open your mind to a whole new world that you've been waiting for. And for those of you that don't think that you've given yourself permission to heal, maybe today's the day. Jenny said, you go, girl. So at Marietta Divine, find her on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Go onto the website, get your own. Trust me on this. So if you are in the middle of a journal and you're saying, oh, I need a new journal, get this one because you're just going to love it. I mean, this pen alone should be $30. You get a lot in this. I'm thrilled for you. I don't think this is the last time you and I will speak. I hope that there's so much moving forward for you.
I want to come back in 6 months when I have completely transformed.
Let's get the calendar out. I would love that. Okay, so for those of you that watch the show on a regular basis, you know that I end every show with a devotional. And there's so much that's in here. There's actually, what I love is you go through and she talks about different parts of where you are on your own journey. Gratitude is one of my favorite things, dreams and goals. But you also have where we can go in the Bible for different aspects of where we are. What tab is that under?
Well, it's on almost every.
Well, no, you have, hold on, before we get into this, you have where there's like fear and then you go,
yeah.
okay, go to here, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's at the beginning.
It's in the beginning?
Yes.
Is it in the prayer board? No.
It's right after.
Oh, here it is.
Yep.
It's under his word. So when you get this, it's under his word and it talks about prayer. Go to Philippians or Mark or 1 Timothy or Matthew, specific areas that she says where you're looking for, this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he will hear us. Prayer, love, there's parts about faith, joy, fear, peace. So I say this because at the end of every show, when we do our devotional, it's what you're hearing in this very given moment. And we do these books called 100 Days to Freedom.
Wow.
From shame, anger, depression, overeating, or fear and anxiety. These are amazing books, by the way.
Love it.
Which one would you choose that you think the world needs to hear from today?
Freedom.
No, so they're all freedom.
Oh.
From, do you feel shame, anger, depression, overeating, or fear and anxiety?
Overeating.
I knew it. I literally was like, I know which one. I just want to go like this. And it's not like when you're dealing cards and you're like, pick that one. I didn't, right? And nor did she and I sit down to say which one, but I could just feel because of the journey that you are on.
Right.
So I'm going to take our final break. And when we come back, we are going to release her and all of you. Don't feel guilty for having the weight put on. Just don't stay in it and understand that you can get out of it. So 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating, Stephen Arterburn, when we return.
My house is so outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there.
Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carol House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or a new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carol House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
Okay, this is funny. I always say, God, you're funny, right? Every single time. We do not pick this before we go on the air. So Marietta Divine, Marie, she picked 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating, correct? We're on day 32. And what does it say? Meditation and prayer before mealtime. I mean, come on, isn't that crazy? So, oh God, we meditate on your unfailing love as we worship in your temple. As your name deserves, oh God, you will be praised in the ends of the earth. Your strong right hand is filled with victory. What's that from? Psalm 48, verses 9 and 10. Preparing your body, your heart, and your mind with a mindset of gratitude allows you to slow down before you partake in a meal. It quiets your soul. It gives you a few moments to breathe slowly and to appreciate the food that's been prepared. You know, all the clients that I personal train and do life coaching with, I always say, do you do mindful or mindless eating? Do you thank it for what it's supposed to do, which is to fuel our body? Or is it just so fast that you don't even know what's happening in the moment? It is so easy for us to begin to eat while standing up, tasting the food, even consuming it while alone or before others arrive, hiding it. Pausing to pray and meditate cultivates a heart of thankfulness and appreciation. It also is allowing us time to assess our hunger and emotional level before we eat. When the body is in a calm state, it can digest the food better, creating a healthier experience for our body and for our mind. A prayer of thanks to God is also an act of worship and reverence, acknowledging that He is the giver of all good things. So take time before meals to meditate and to actually engage in prayer. Caroline Leaf says, prepare a delicious meal using real food, whole food. You know, we talk about supplementation, the word supplementation, supplementing a whole meal, not all day long, and also not starving yourself. Before saying grace, think of the way it was grown, the way it was raised, the way it was prepared, thanking it, how it got to your plate in the first place, how eating this food allows you to be a good steward of God is a creation. Pray with a real food mindset. Daniel Amen says, spend 10 to 20 minutes a day in prayer or meditation. Both prayer and meditation have been shown to improve blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, decreasing anxiety and improving your mood. They are also effective stress management tools that exist for you. And then Chris Tomlin says, worship, where God isn't moved by the quality of our voice, but by the condition of our hearts. And here's the prayer for you. Dear Father, thank you so much for providing food and drink for me. Thank you for those who make the food I eat. Thank you for my family and my health. And thank you for your unfailing love over me. Amen.
Amen.
That was perfect, wasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I love it. They all seem to be so fitting, and we really, truly don't ever pick it in advance. Marie, you're coming back in 6 months.
Yes.
We're marking it on the calendar right now, and I can't wait to see where your journey has taken you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And thank you for providing all of this to the world. And I'm excited to see what is coming for young girls, for moms, grandmas, all the women out there. And men, look, you are the supporters for us. Stand by us. No more renting of you. The girl of prayer. Get it for all those on your list that are looking. Jenny says, you go, girl. Diane said, you're truly a gift. Joe, I am very proud of you, big sis.
Oh, thanks.
There, hey, drop the mic. We're going to leave it with your brother right there. So thank you all. And who was with you, by the way, at the Working Women's Show?
My husband.
Yes. So shout out to your husband.
Yes.
Who is?
J-Dub. J-Dub.
J-Dub. Thank you. Thank you, because we couldn't do these things without your support system. And think about that, by the way. What a beautiful way to realize that she was hurt, abused, renting guys, and now she's got this incredible confidant by her side. You've been married how long?
We've been together over 25 years.
Oh, wow.
But we've been married 15.
15? Well,
Yes.
You're a good man, and I can see how proud you are of her, and rightfully so. The girl of prayer. Get it? Trust me on this. It'll change your life. And in 6 months, her life's going to be changed so much that she's going to light us all up all over again. Remember, folks, we tell you all the time that you truly can become anything you want to be in life. You just have to believe in yourself. We believe in you. But it's that day that you believe in yourself that's really powerful. Tomorrow, I want you to tune in. Charlie Metzner will be my guest. Charlie Metzer will be my guest. He is with the Hero Network. And we're going to sit down and we're going to remember a dear soul taken way too soon. And when we tell you how precious life is, it can be taken away like that. Brian McKenna and Brian McKenna Day is coming up, by the way, the end of next month. And I do hope you've already put it on your calendar. We've got it on ours, so always check our calendar for all the latest events. The Brian McKenna Day coming up for you on May 31st. And I am proud to say that his best friend Babs will be sitting in this chair on May 5th, on Cinco de Mayo, one of his favorite holidays that he would have been at Pueblo Solis for sure. We are going to feature Pueblo Solis on a food segment on May 3rd, the 60th anniversary of Slyman Brothers. Can you believe they've been in town 60 years? And the 27th anniversary of Pueblo Solis, one of the best Mexican restaurants that you can ever go to. It's in the city right there off of Hampton. So we will be featuring them on May 3rd. And then on May 5th, I sit down with Babs. I can't wait to do that. We're going to remember Brian, though, tomorrow and talk about all the incredible things that the Hero Network does. That'll be on tomorrow's show with Charlie, so don't miss that. Remember, folks, I ask you to do one thing in life. Go out, shake hands, meet somebody brand new, just like we did that day. And what did we do that day? We showed kindness to one another.
Most definitely.
Greatest thing you can do. Be kind. God bless.